As I pull her over onto her side, I use that left hand to scoop her back, and my knee scoops right in behind her back. So I want to see everyone lying down on their back before we can start. Great. Okay, quality of touch. We'll be pouring weight down into the feet. Just a question for you guys to consider what it is that you're pouring into it. Rub the hands together. Let the palms gently find their way onto the feet. Feel the hands merging and wrapping around the shapes of the feet. And then I'm just leaning to one side and letting the foot turn out. Leaning to the other side and guiding the foot to turn out. So the intention begins in the feet, this quality of touch into the feet, but then notice the joints up through the legs to the hips. See if you can see how their thigh bone rotates in their hip socket. Crawl back a little bit. See what happens when you turn both toes in. Just notice how much they turn in. Be curious about their range. Explore their limit. Yeah. And then turn them out. See how much their feet can turn out. And do this again and notice the movement through the thigh bones in the hip socket, and see if you can observe also maybe any movement through their spine or their back. And that's also an invitation for those who are receiving to just observe what happens in your spine when your thigh bones rotate outwards and when your thigh bones rotate inwards. And for some people it's very subtle through their back of their body and their sides of their body. And for other people it might feel really obvious that something's happening. Cool. Then come to the left. So it's your partner's right side, but it's your left. And we'll scoop up their right leg. Helicopter. So I'm kneeling diagonally from Emma's shoulder and giving her body enough space so that her leg can rotate to its full mobility. We're just exploring the mobility of the hip. Change direction, change rhythm. See how far open the knee can fall on your person. And what kind of quality can you offer to encourage them to relax more? Good. I'm going to step across with my right leg, come into a lunge and make a one-legged hammock. The knee crease right over the thigh. So I'm up on my left knee and they're in a one-legged hammock. You can try pressing onto the foot. Notice what happens in the hip and their back when you do this. Yeah. And then from here, I'm going to take Emma's right hand, the hand that's closest to the side that I'm on. So the same side that I'm on is the hand that I take. I'm going to use my left hand on the floor. As I pull her over onto her side, I use that left hand to scoop her back, and my knee scoops right in behind her back, like a seat belt, along where her belt would actually be. So if she was wearing a belt, my left knee is right along that, supporting her back. So find that perfect fit with your left leg, supporting their back, right where their belt of their pants is. Yes. We're going to get a little bit intimate here, but it's really to see how the movement of the pelvis affects the movement of the spine. So you can see her thigh bone here, where it's moving in her hip socket. Then I'm actually going to curl my left foot in and sit down on my heel. Now I can see her whole pelvis, the side of her pelvis, and the back of her spine. I'm going to squeeze her pelvis between my hands, front side, back side, and then mobilize the pelvis and spine. Elvis's pelvis can be a bit ticklish on some people.
In here it's better or?
No, I'm like ticklish there.
A bug. Great. When you're ready, come back up. We'll let their leg come down. Great. And we're just going to start by standing above the body. You can interlace your fingers with whichever hand. You can use your bottom arm as like a pillow for your own head if you're down on the bottom, not if you're up on the top. So whoever's lying on the ground like this can be nice. And you're just going to chill out and receive right now, and you'll get to follow us later. So your job is just to see how you can feel this information in your body. I'm going to lean back until her shoulder comes into, see here, it's not in elastic range. But if I just lean back, I can see this pulling on the fingers is moving through the wrist, elbow, even her shoulder, and maybe even into the side of her neck. So see if you can see that. Then you keep it in this elastic range. So keep the tension through the body and little harmonics. And if you can feel the wrist is all going like click, 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 and their wrist isn't so happy about this, I might even hold the wrist. On Emma, I can feel that she's really open in her wrist. Most people, it will feel really nice in the wrist, especially after doing handstands with blocks. Okay, so we're just unwinding. You can change the way you wiggle the arm. I like to call this one the sticky draw. Trying to get the sticky draw out can be really great therapy for people who are showing signs of beginning frozen shoulder. Yeah? You can change the angle. And then from here, I'm just going to kneel down behind Emma with my knees pointing towards her head, and I lay this arm over my lap. So we're getting this nice opening through the front of the shoulder. I'm going to take my arm behind my back so I can catch her hand. My other hand can nest in where the shoulder and the chest join into this soft area here, just very gentle with the touch. And then I just lean back and again bring her into an elastic range. I can see it moving all the way through her neck. Can you guys feel that? Keep her in elastic range, or keep them in elastic range, and maybe a little pulse. I'm using my whole body. You can support at the front of the shoulder. Good. Gonna bring up my outside leg as a third hand, so I can be like, look mom, hands free. And I've got her here, wedged in between my thigh and my waist. Play with this movement here, how you can rock them gently, opening through here.
Bring your knee up. I forgot her name. Yuli. Yeah, take this knee up. Yeah, yeah.
Everyone got that? Good. Then my hands can cup around the shoulder, and I can start to feel the movement through this splenohumeral joint. And just be curious with your touch now. See if you can feel where the humerus goes into these bones here, making the shoulder socket, how it moves at the front of the chest. And start to play around the back of the shoulder where the scapula is. It's this big flat triangle bone at the back of the shoulder. The scapula or the shoulder blade, I don't know what it is in Estonian. See if you can feel the scapula moving. So my hand now is behind their shoulder here on this flat triangle bone. Feeling that move. Maybe the fingers can explore around the edges of the bone. Great. Gently release their arm. And we will swap.
We're not going over.
Oh yeah,
This
actually, before we swap, pick up the arm. My leg up near her head comes up into a lunge. I'm going to put her arm over my leg here, so her elbow is going over my leg. I'm going to sit down at her head. So now we can see the shoulder blade with a little more detail. See if you can feel the shoulder blade and just start to move a little bit, like you're trying to pull length through the side of the body and you're trying to drag the shoulder blade towards you and move it around a little bit. This is a great place where you can access just underneath the underarm without getting too, you know, clumsy around the chest and breast area. We'll look at this. There's a really nice way to access this when we're flying as well. So just playing with this movement of the shoulder blade, you should be able to feel it when it's really healthy in the body. It can move around quite easily against the rib cage. It's like a sliding joint. Great. And then just releasing the arm when you're ready.